What's up, guys? I'm Wholesome Joe. I just wanted to do another really quick video today. I actually had something really cool happen today that I wanted to talk about. I actually had meetings today with sales agents slash distributors for independent feature films. I just finished post on a feature film called The Marks, which is a comedy feature film set in the 90s about backyard wrestling, which we just finished, and we are currently in the middle of trying to uh, figure out how to get it out to people so they can finally watch it. And so I set up some meetings with some sales agents today to get sort of an idea of what that's going to look like. And I thought while it was fresh on my mind that I could share some information with you about what we talked about what the whole process is behind that, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of mystery behind how the whole distribution process works, especially for indie film. And it's kind of like a wild west out there, so to speak. There's a lot of unscrupulous people, snakes in the grass, that are out to take advantage of filmmakers like myself and possibly you as well if you are a filmmaker. So I'm here to try to help you avoid some of that by giving you a few tips that I've learned along the way. I have two other feature films that I have that have distribution. They're both horror. I did not have good experiences with either of them, and I have not made any money from either of them, even though one of them is currently streaming on both Tubi and Amazon Prime, as well as it had a short run in Redbox. So you could physically pick up a copy of the movie in Redbox, which is really cool, to be able to see my movie in a Redbox. But I never saw any actual money from that. And as a filmmaker, as you probably know, movies are kind of expensive to make. And at this level, we're maxing out credit cards, we're taking out loans, we're doing crowdfunding and all of those things to try to make our movie. And at a certain point, something has to give. So you either have to make money on the movies that you're making, or you won't be able to continue to keep making movies. So with all that being said, you're probably thinking, okay, I made my movie. What do I do with it? And that's kind of a tricky question, because there's there's a variety of paths you can take, and there's no really right or wrong answer. The traditional answer has always been, when you finish your film, submit it to film festivals, try to get it into as many film festivals as possible, hope that someone important at said film festival sees your film, likes it, and then, wants to pick it up and distribute it. But be that as it may, in 2021, in a post-COVID era, that doesn't really jive anymore. And things have kind of changed a lot now that we have a lot of streaming platforms and things like that. It's everything is not the same as it once was, and you got to take a different approach. And the problem is like, what is that approach? Because we honestly don't know yet, because we're still sort of figuring it out. And that's why I wanted to sort of make this video and some other videos in the future, because I think this is a topic that doesn't get discussed enough, not to the detail, or at least in the nitty gritty of, hey, this is what you should look out for and this is what you shouldn't do. And I think there's a lot of good information out there, but it also leaves out a lot of stuff. So I had those meetings today. They both went really well. I got a lot of cool information and learned a lot. I asked a lot of questions about things I was confused about. And we didn't make any decisions. I didn't decide on anything because I have some other people that I need to talk to and involve. But it is really cool to have people interested and excited in what you're doing, and wanting to help you get it out to the masses so that they can see it. So you're probably going, well, what steps did you take, Joe, when you decided to seek distribution for your movies? And the answer to that is kind of simple, but it's easier said than done. So basically, when you're looking for distribution, you're going to go down one of two avenues. You're either going to look for a distributor directly, and you're going to contact the distributor via their acquisitions department, or you are going to hire a sales agent And sometimes the sales agents work for the distributors, or they're both a distributor and a sales agent. The ones that I talked to today, one of them was both a distributor and a sales agent, while the other was just a sales agent. And what they will do is take on your film, and for usually what comes to be a percentage of the commissions of what the film makes, they will market, publicize, and or sell your film to whatever platforms that they can sell it to. And they will try to sell it domestically and or internationally if it is feasible to do so. In my case, they told us that our film, because it's a wrestling movie, would be a very good domestic sale, but may have trouble internationally because it is in the comedy genre, and comedy is just a hard sell internationally. But because it's a pro wrestling movie, they said there might be a little bit of leeway to still be able to sell it internationally, but it won't be as easy to do if it were, say, like horror. But they also mentioned that since it's a niche genre film, that could go in its favor, and they felt like there was a lot of potential for the film, which was good to hear. But at the same time, I try to keep a realistic outlook on things. I know what the market and what the audience for my film already is. Before I even talked to the distributors today, I already knew where my movie fits in, and to hear other people in the industry who are not part of my team tell me things that I already knew, that just sort of reiterates that I'm moving in the right direction. So we talked to them today, and that went really well. I haven't made any decisions, and we'll keep going and see. I have some other distributors who have also expressed interest, so it's good that there are multiple people interested, because competition, will make it be more in demand, and that's what we want. So when you're just starting out and you're like, I want to see if I can get this film out there so people can see it, you might think, I'm just going to throw it up on Amazon Prime. Don't do that. And there's a lot of reasons why, but the majority of the reason why is that the main reason to have a distributor or a sales agent to sell your film for you has nothing to do with actually selling the film, more so than it does having connections that you don't have, right? So you want to be able to market and or publicize your film, because if there's no advertising behind it, no one's going to know that it exists. And there's only so much you can do with Facebook ads and posting about it on Facebook and telling your friends. You can do all of those things, and you should still do all of those things anyway. But you're going to have a hard time trying to sell your film on your own without the help of those organizations, because they have connections with marketing and advertising that you just don't have. And that's what it really comes down to. And so when you're talking to the distributors, you want to get an idea of what they're capable of and what their reach is. And one tip that I might have for you is that when you're looking for a distributor and or a sales agent, go to their website. Look at their catalog of films and see what else they have on their roster, and see if they have any other films that are similar in vein to your film. See if they have anything on their roster that has done particularly well. Look at what platforms they're distributing to. Like, do they have multiple films that are on Hulu or on Netflix or one of the other really big platforms, or is it all Amazon Prime and Tubi, which are they're still good platforms to be on, but they're the smaller ones. Everybody is looking to be on Netflix, and there's some other ones now, Peacock and things like that. And that's a great goal to have, but you have to understand that that may not be the market for your film, and you have to work with them to find what the best path to take is for your film. And one of the questions I asked them today was, hey, I've been told by a lot of people that we should just completely avoid screening this, completely avoid showing it to anyone, completely avoid film festivals if we want to have any chance of selling the movie. And they didn't outright say that was false, but they basically said, it depends. Because the idea that if you show the movie or you premiere it somewhere before you get a distribution deal, that there will be some conflicts there that could cause issues for you. What they did say was not to completely avoid film festivals, but to be selective, right? So what a lot of filmmakers have a tendency to do once they finish their film, they're really excited. They really want to show it to anybody who's willing to watch it, right? And so everyone says, "Oh, you gotta submit to the film festival." So they go to Film Freeway, they make an account, and they start submitting their film to, whatever film festivals they can find, especially ones that don't have an entry fee or have a really low entry fee, or the opposite effect of going and trying to submit to every top tier film festival like Sundance, Cannes, South by Southwest, Slam Dance, Tribeca, all of those. And realistically, yeah, your film might be good, but does your film fit in with the content that film festival normally screens? You have to be realistic about what your film is and who the audience is for it. So with all that in mind, being selective with what film festivals that you submit to will go a long way, because you want your film to appear to be this really big deal that it is. And a lot of people think that if you have a lot of film festival laurels all over your movie poster, that is a big deal. But honestly, if all of the film festivals you've gotten into are little no-name local festivals that maybe have a couple of 150 or less people attends them, and almost no media coverage or anything like that, realistically, how helpful is that for your film, especially when you only get one shot to do this, right? If you a good example or a good way to say this is that if you look at film festivals like a pyramid, if you start in the middle of the pyramid, it is much harder to get to the top than it would be if you just started at the top, right? So, and work your way down, right? So if you start at the top of the pyramid and work your way down instead of starting in the middle and trying to work your way up, you'll have a much easier time. And what I mean by that is that if you do your research and you figure out which film festivals are the ones that make the most sense for your film to screen at, start with the top tier ones first, yes. But keep in mind that you're probably not going to get into Sundance. You're probably not going to get into Cannes. You're probably not going to get into Tribeca, and that's okay, because a lot of people don't think about the fact that film festivals, much like everything else, is heavily political. There's a lot of there's money involved. There's a lot of high-profile people involved. And a lot of the decisions that are made for high-profile film festivals has nothing to do with a filmmaker going to Film Freeway and paying $140 to submit their film to Sundance. The chances of you actually doing that and getting accepted are, you should go buy a lottery ticket tomorrow. That's the odds. You're much, much, much more likely to get into a smaller but still prominent film festival by having some sort of connection with that film festival. Maybe a friend of yours knows the program director. Maybe you're working with a distributor that already knows the program director and they're doing you a favor, or you've built some kind of buzz for your film and people are talking about it already and they're requesting to see it. Film festivals want to show films that people are going to come to watch, right? So they're much more likely to screen a film they've never heard of if someone they know in their network is recommending it versus just randomly seeing it as a submission on Film Freeway, because they watch hundreds of thousands of submissions. And I would guess they don't have time to sit through all of these different movies. and I honestly don't blame them. But yeah, so start at the top, work your way down. Don't just accept anything. You only get one shot to do this. You should do it the right way. But that's not me saying don't screen your film anywhere and don't do film festivals, because that's entirely untrue. There's just a way to do it so that you get the most bang for your buck. So maybe in our case, I feel like what we're probably going to do is research which film festivals make sense for us to do. Talk with whatever distributor / sales agent that we end up partnering with, and figuring out which film festivals we should do that will garner us the most attention. Because at the end of the day, we need as many people to see this as humanly possible. And you really can't do that if you submit, like, you're basically just like wasting your film on festivals that no one is gonna attend. So like, if you've already submitted for Slamdance, if you've already submitted for these bigger film festivals and you're not getting into any of them, okay, that's cool, not a big deal. Don't then all of a sudden start accepting or start submitting to the No Name Film Festival in Podunkville, Alabama, right? That's when I would go just a tier down, go down to the next level, go down to the bigger regional film festivals, and start submitting to those, or use your connections to try to get a direct contact with the program director, and maybe they can say, hey, you guys need to screen this film, right? I worked with a film festival one time, and I learned a lot about how the acquisitions or how the schedule is made for film festivals, in that a lot of the films that screen, they paid for them to screen. The film festival paid the filmmakers and or the distribution company to screen their film because they wanted to screen the film. It wasn't the other way around, right? And so that's an important thing to remember and think about as well. So be selective about film festivals. Be selective about your premiere. And you can even have multiple premieres. You can have a local premiere. You can have a world premiere. You can have an international premiere. You can have a Canadian premiere. You can have a whatever premiere. You can have 20 premieres if you want. But the important thing to remember is when you have your world, premiere, that's it. You don't get another chance. So you have to make that as special and as big and have media, publicity, buzz. You want as much hoopla about your film as you possibly can get on the first go, because everything that comes after it is going to be based on how well you did right out of the gate. So don't settle for any less than that. It is your work. You've been pouring your whole heart and soul into it. Make it worth it, right? So be selective about the film festivals. Be selectable. Be selective about the distributor and sales agent. Don't go into it and just make a decision all willy-nilly. Be selective. That's if you don't take anything from this video, anything else from this video, be selective. Don't jump on the first thing that comes across, because maybe if this distributor doesn't want your film, somebody else will. There are a lot of stories where you'll hear about a filmmaker trying to get a film picked up, and they go to distributor, and everyone's like, no, we don't want it. No, we don't want to have anything to do with that. And they keep knocking on doors, right, until someone answers. But just because someone answers doesn't mean that that's the end, right? Maybe you need to knock on 2 or 3 more doors before the person who opens it is the right person to represent the piece of cinema that you've created. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions about filmmaking, distribution, my other films, please ask them in the comments. I will leave a link to the trailer for my film, as well as a website that has a list of different distributors and sales agents, which is where I found a lot of the ones that I've contacted. And if you have any other thoughts, suggestions, or anything else, just leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, like and or subscribe. I will see you next time.